So we just finished up our first workout for the day. Um, Actually, yeah, we finished that, and now we're just going to be putting together some information out there. You know what? I was trying to contemplate on doing this. I didn't know how to approach this, but just going to get right to the point. I know that I do SEO, and I know I do internet marketing for a living. And a lot of people, that's like the strategy. That's the way of doing it, sell your services, so to speak. Don't worry, I'm going to be talking about SEO a lot. But the fact of the matter is, what I do for a living, not a lot of people know. A lot of people actually look at me like I lost my fucking mind. And that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody for it. It's just for the simple fact of we're living in a world that's just divided in so many different ways. So I figure, you know what, the type of content I'm going to put together is my type of content, not always talking about what I do for a living, the technical aspects, the geeky shit, but just who I am as a whole. I'm a people person, so to speak. I love to motivate. I think of different times that I've come across different situations. There's come a time in everybody's life. Everybody's always looking for someone else for advice or someone they can speak to. But what I've realized that it's up to that person if they want to take that advice or not. You can always tell someone something or give an example or suggestion, but the fact of the matter is it's a two-sided thing, because when someone's trying to relay some type of stress or they want to speak their mind, that's just what they want to do. 9 out of 10 times, they don't want the other end of that whole spiel when it comes to dishing out whatever they want to. They stop it right there. They don't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't think that, you relaying this out to me, that means you must want some type of advice, some type of, suggestion or something. But that's not always the case. They just maybe want to express themselves. That's fine. That's cool. If you have that advice, if they want to take it, that's up to them. There's not a lot of open-minded people when it comes to the world today. The world that we live in right now, the ones that are successful are already living on the pedestal, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. Like, we're at a point where it's like, okay, we're divided because of our minds, okay? We have an open mind. We like to be optimistic about things. And that's how you have to be in a lot of things in life. Take, for example, internet marketing, all right? Now, you have to be optimistic when it comes to internet marketing. This is the marketing of the future. I love Mad Men, the show Mad Men. It's just crazy. Like, I'm already in the internet marketing industry, so to speak. So, I like to respect, all different levels of marketing and, the timeline of it. But just the hustle bustle to sell, the motivation of it, the life, the everything behind it. It creates who you are. You know what I mean? Selling is, honestly, when I grew up, to a certain point, selling wasn't always my spiel. It wasn't my thing. I'm more of a, I know who I am. I represent who I am. I know the skill set that I have. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna make you a believer. Fact of the matter is, take for example SEO. I've been in this industry now for well over a decade. I actually started off with putting together websites. Yes, I actually went to school for that. A lot of people know that with the AI. So I had the whole coding thing down, technical stuff. I love that world. And then, I'm one of those people that like to study behind it, read about it, connect the dots, so to speak, puzzles, all that shit. I love it. So, I understand, the connection, you know what I mean? So if I have a business that I want to obviously have a website for, then I'm actually going to, go to the next step. That next step, it's so funny, that next step is the internet. You have a website, you put it on the internet, okay, cool. But when I was starting off, search engines, everything of that nature wasn't a big deal. It was just like, hey, you put your site, you have a website, cool. People, it was like a bookmark, it was like your business. I used to tell people back in the day that it was like your business card. That was like my first approach when it came to websites. But now, when I saw several years back, I saw the shift. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, it got to the point where they started making CMS platforms and all these things for people to be able to create their own websites. Like, oh crap, so I'm gonna get lost in the shuffle here. Like a lot of people like myself are not gonna be needed. We'd have to obviously go back and adjust on our craft, as far as like coding goes. Maybe they don't want something like that. Maybe they want their own customized website or something, whatever the case may be. But I didn't want that. I wanted something like a little more dig my teeth in, but still, a little more on the simple side. You know what I mean? Like, learning code is a language. It's a whole different language. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand, but I wanted to, stick to something that maybe I could present in a whole different light. So when I heard about SEO, it was like, SEO. I heard something about it because, again, you're in this industry. You definitely are going to know about something. You're going to know about a graphic. You're going to know about a logo. You're going to learn about front-end code. You're going to learn about back-end code. You're going to hear expressions. You're going to hear all types of shit in this industry. So when I first got into SEO, it was like, okay, yeah, I know about it. It's the tags, it's the meta tags above, right under the title. So I was working with Dreamweaver at the time. I still do. So there it started to really evolve. It really started to evolve. So there is an actual documentary about Google and the Sergey brothers. And it was like actually Bloomberg had dropped it. It was one of my favorites, still to this day. It's one of my favorite bios that I love to watch. And, just how they went about and made money. Obviously they're on the verge of being bankrupt. And, they saw that they had this whole wheel going on how Google was invented, how created. So, in order for them to survive, they obviously needed to do some type of thing, to get, money going. So the funny thing about that documentary was that they spoke about a competitor, and the competitor being a social media platform, so to speak. So it's funny. The reason why I mentioned this, to jump ahead, because Google actually is a competitor because they knew that, okay, the backlinks, like everybody pretty much, if you heard about SEO, if you heard anything about SEO, you probably think, okay, it's backlinks. It's not that, okay? So the fact of the matter is, it was just a lot of votes. Yes, it's back pages. Yes, backlinks, back pages, whatever you want to call it. The majority of votes and everything of that nature, the quality of it, yes, that is a major, very essential part of SEO. However, like I said, they weren't making money at the time. So they obviously had to start the whole advertising process. So that's when, a lot of businesses start to, take their money over to them, and it's like advertising for one of, like how it was back in the day. Same thing with how it was in Google, and that's how Facebook became a competitor, because they noticed that as well. But that's Facebook, and hopefully you'll get the understanding what I'm trying to talk about later. But anyway, so back to the documentary that I'm speaking about. So that was the whole reason Google was able to get to where it is right now. You know, and still to this day, they feed heavily on their ad spend. They try to make it seem like it's not the case, but it is the case. They will say as much as they have to protect their algorithms, their ranking factors. However, there are so many different ranking factors that are out there right now that will help businesses rank with Google. Now, the reason why people might think that SEO is dead or they've never heard of it is because, like, when you put up like your phone, for example, I'm just gonna like really dumb this down for a hot second. I apologize, you know, if that offends anybody. So, when you pull up your phone, all right, 9 out of 10 times, and I'm gonna be talking. There we go. So you're gonna get like a big Google thing that's gonna come up. You're gonna get something like that, obviously. So, I mean, that's your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your. You see that? Like, that's your phone. And what they're doing is they're pulling different information. So one of the things that they're doing is like they're pulling this. It's called an API. So the API is bringing in the information off of the website, and that's like extra HTML code, that's extra a JavaScript or a JSON code. So basically within that, you obviously have some keywords. And like I said, I don't want to get into all of the gist or anything like that. If you want to learn more about that, I actually have a private SEO group that we can talk more about that. But for the most part now, now we get a better understanding of how SEO is really like made its way into the internet industry, internet marketing industry, and that's what Google uses, Sergey Brothers, and so on and so forth. There's more to that story. There's more to that. However, like I said, there's certain things that, you know, there's going to be days that we're going to be talking about motivation. You know what I mean? Like, you know, right now, it's talking, you know, but you know, I'm going to be hitting up my boys or anything. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, we're going to be talking about internet marketing, but people need to understand and be aware of it's such a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck to you because, you know, working with so many different clients through 10 years, started off actually even in high school, okay? Like, just the stories that you go through with clients, I go through with my friends, you know what I mean, that are in the industry, what we hear, what we see, what people are trying to obtain when it comes to this. There are so many people that have dreams and aspirations and goals already when it comes to their business mindset, how they want to be financially free. They want to get on the internet, but they don't know how. They don't know how, and I totally understand where they're coming from. It's like someone that is already in the industry but doesn't know how to write, so they have writer's block. You know what I mean? Like, everybody goes through different things. They don't know where to get started. They don't know how to do this. It's so much now that goes into an internet success that, you know, you actually could have a whole digital marketing industry or an agency, so to speak. And I know this because I did all that. You know, I was literally at one point, I was the guy that actually, you know, put the website together, did the social media, did the SEO, did the email marketing, you know, put all that stuff together. You know what I mean? And then had to go out and I had to get influencer writers. I had to get content writers. You know, it's tough. You know, the industry, that's just how it is. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, how do you go about putting all that together? You know, what is the mindset of putting all that together? What do I see with, you know, people in the industry right now? with different, categories, different, mythologies and everything of that situation. It's just so funny to me because I'm the person, I see the bigger picture. It's like, yo, dude, if you want it, it's there. I've helped so many companies. I've helped myself. I've helped my family, with this internet marketing. It's very simple once you get, obviously, your structures down. You stay away from the bullshit. There's so much bullshit in this industry that it kills and it just feeds to other people. And that's where it's just like, wow, if you really just take your head away from that for a second and understand what value that you could be bringing people with this tool, you know what I mean? Like, you can live out, you can help people, you can help yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I started. That's one reason why I got into this industry. I wanted to be a part of the solution. Who doesn't want to be a part of the solution? Being a part of the problem sucks. That's just, that's the belly of the beast right there. But at the end of the day, like, you want to help someone. Everybody's like always tries to claim, they're a nice person, and there's good in all of us. I believe that. You just got to show it. If you can bring something to the table, why not? And the best way to do that on a worldwide basis is the internet marketing. It's really not hard. There's so many pieces to the puzzles that get you there. That's just pretty much how you put it down. The motivation to it. I saw something actually. There is a quote today that said, actually, I think it was, you have to look at things from a different perspective. Sometimes you have to look at things from a different perspective. Not too long ago, I actually read something about Warren Buffett, and it was not only just about Warren Buffett, but it was just in general about having a mind frame of being optimistic and looking at the plate half full, or looking at the drink half full, so to speak. We don't do that as a society anymore. I know a lot of people that don't do that. A lot of my students don't do that. The reason why I say that is because, you can hear it in their voice. I can see it when, in their message to me. I can just feel that. You feel the energy. And, it gets you to a point of like, man, what happened? How many people what direction are we being put into that it's, always thinking negative, because we're always surrounded by the negative. So if you have a dream that you want to put it on the internet, is the internet also negative? Yes, the internet is very, very negative, but that's because it's being used that way. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it that way. Use it for a voice of positivity. If you have something to bring to someone's life as a solution for your business, why not put it out there? You have to be consistent. You have to look at everything from a different perspective. What were you doing before that you can do now? What can you do differently? There's so many things that I've done differently. I actually, several years ago, I actually was in the hospital for about like 7 days. I had rhabdomyosis, and once I got out, I just didn't want to do anything. A couple of days later, I was broken up with. I was dumped, and then I started to like really think about my life, and I had to look at things from a different perspective. What can I do? Like, okay, where do I start? Well, obviously, I still have my web. I was actually working with a great company at the time, doing nothing but web designs, websites, and it was rocking. Everything was just on time. So from there, it's like, okay, what do I do next that I want to do differently? I want to work on my health. I don't want to go back in the hospital again. that sucked. I didn't want to be woken up at 3 in the morning and having blood taken. That was horrendous. So I started to live in the gym. I went back into the gym. Now I've been living in the gym ever since. Changed up my diet routines, everything of that nature. It's been fantastic. You know, slip ups later on, but we'll get to that later. But at the time, you know, I had been working with you know, web designs. I had a great company I was with. We're just killing it. I was working with the Hilton, all their properties at the time. You know, NBC Suites of that nature. And that's when I started getting into SEO. But that was when I really at the time was like taking more control of looking at things from a different perspective. I was very more ongoing. At the time, I was getting like offers for you know, male modeling or fitness modeling, so to speak. You know, I was looking at everything from a different perspective after I went into the hospital, or after I got out of the hospital. And you know, it's just like those different things that it does something to you. So like if you, for example, one day decide like you don't want to you know, just keep working on one job and you want to do something else, you actually want to start your business, you want to start your side hustle, or you want to make extra money. You know, that's looking at something from a different perspective. You know, there's always something in life that always puts you in that, okay, maybe I need to look at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? You get that through like literally every day. You know, if you get mad at someone, you didn't know something, that's because you didn't look at it from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when it comes to, you know, business decisions, same thing. You have to look at it from a different perspective. Money, you have to look at it from a different perspective. Finances, your health, you have to look at everything from a different perspective in life. If it's not working out for you, if you see the long-term road as a downward spiral, that means you need to make adjustments. Plain and simple. That is the you know, I guess I can say the message of the day. Sometimes you just got to do it. And this is like that different approach, you know, looking at things from a different perspective. Well, you know what if I talk about my experience of the industry, of what I deal with, or what I've gone through with my clients, I can share with you. You know, obviously talking to, here's the camera right there, but I got people here. But you know, I wanted to share this out there with people and, you know, just give you a different perspective of, hey, you know what? I'm trying to bring this whole thing as far as SEO to the world, okay? People who may not be so tech savvy, maybe just break it down to their science or something. Internet marketing, you know, there are people that want to be financially free. They want to live the life of the internet entrepreneur, internet marketer that we obviously succeed in, but they don't know how to get started. Well, we have to do that. We have to help them, you know what I mean? And then show them the different ropes and ways they want to get started on maybe making their own industry, or they have their own e-commerce sites, shops, or their own affiliate sites, whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is, we just have to do it. And that's as well. It's like, you know what, here's my perspective on it. I'm going to help people that doesn't, know where to get started, who to talk to, because, you have someone that's been in different areas of this and understands, oh, okay, dude, this is all connected. Okay, there's so many times that I've spoken to so many conferences, so many different companies, and I've said to people, yo, start to your motherboard. Okay, your motherboard is your website. It's your website. Okay, and I'm so grateful for the simple fact of I was able to go to school to realize that, like, oh, it starts with one. Oh, it starts with, first off, such your mind, how you do that. Okay, you got to make a website out of it. And the website is where you drive your sales, everything of that nature. So, how does that connect? Well, goes to the SEO, it goes to the digital marketing, it goes to, and everything in between there. There's all different types of ways, you know what I'm saying? So like through the SEO, there's the blogs, or, you know, there's the social media, or there's email marketing, you know, that directs you to the site or to the blog, or there's social media that connects you to the blog. And yo, it's crazy. Okay, there's so many different ways. That's the internet. It's the wild, wild west. So, you know, don't feel discouraged when you're like, yo, I don't even know where to get started with this. You can get started anywhere. You can get started anywhere. It just matters with you. Okay, if you put so much energy, okay, it's just 8 hours. Okay, 8 hours a day. Think of it like how you were back when you were younger. You were in school, and okay, you went to school from, let's say, 8 to 3. Okay, and then maybe after school you had after school curricular activities, extracurricular activities, so to speak. Okay, so that was what, about, let's say, 2 hours minimum. What happened between the time you can't do, you know what I mean? Like, you did that one time in your life, or if you played sports, or you did, it doesn't matter. You did anything up to, let's say, 9 o'clock at night. So you decided at one point in your life, you know what? Fuck all that. I'm not going to do that anymore. You do all that when you're young. But then you get to, okay, I went to college, I have this great job, or you think you have this great job working for someone else, or it gets to a point where, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, man, this starts to suck, or you just get triggered, or the stress starts, something in your life just put a whole different perspective on your job, because you're getting up every day and you're the one that has to, you know, dude, I've seen it. I've seen it. Like, I actually will drive sometimes, and, you know, it could be like from the beach or something like that, and I see people and I feel so bad for them, because I've seen them in their cars and they're drinking their coffee and they just look like zombies, and I'm just like, wow. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I can admit at one point in my life, I was like, holy crap. And here I am, you know, like, just got done the gym, I went to the beach, watched the sunrise, excuse me, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, you know what I'm saying? I got a whole day planned, you know, let's like do this. And I just look and it's just unbelievable. You know, that's just a mindset that you just looking at it from a different perspective. Like, hey, you know, if I get up at a certain time, you know, get my day started at a certain point, you know, like, it's just wild. So, you know, looking at things from a different perspective, internet marketing from a different perspective, is to help you to, you know, achieve your dreams and your success. That's what it's basically come down to. You know, that's why I was like, okay, you know, so how am I going to do this approach? Oh, man. Well, let's see here. If I really wanted to talk about my SEO with, you know, my audience, then sure, I can do that. But I'm the type of person that my life is not only just SEO, it's internet marketing in general. You know, I live my whole life by motivation, and I'm always inspired, and I like to inspire. I go to the gym, you know, I like to spend time with my family. It's more than life than just SEO. You have to find that the work-play balance. You have to find that tranquility in life. So, you know, that was the main reason why it's like, I'm not just going to talk about SEO when it comes to my campaign, so to speak, or my content, because I just wanted to keep it real. Everybody else is damn sure keeping it real in the world, but I wasn't keeping it real in the simple fact of trying to con anybody and confuse anybody or anything of that nature. It was more so, yes, I do SEO. I've done internet marketing for well over 10 years. You know, I have my own business, and it's fantastic. Oh, man, social media, internet marketing, whatever the case may be. You know, I literally am like living such a fantastic life that it's like now that I'm able to help so many other businesses. You know, I see some people that's like, oh man, I can't really work with them, but I always feel bad. I feel bad. So said, screw it. You know, I'm going to be offering my services out to everybody. Why not? Everybody else is doing it. But the way that they're doing it, I wanted to do something a little different. So, you know, their courses and their whole strategies is awesome. It's amazing. But for people that don't know how to get started, say for example they have their whole agency already going on for them, if they wanted to just do SEO, or they have their business or local business and they heard about SEO, if they don't know how to get started with it, or they are trying to find some type of keyword structure, they don't know exactly who to talk to or who to approach in that type of matter. So it's like, oh man, you know what? Let me just go ahead and let me talk to them, because I don't think those people are getting any type of assistance. Like, they're getting the strategy of these people that are great doing it in the industry, but they're not getting the forefront. You know what I mean? Like for example, how do we draw traffic? You know what I mean? How does a person start to generate traffic? And I actually have a course about how you can start generating traffic. And the funny thing about this course, it involves both SEO and social media. So like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the things that are not being talked about, are not being approached. And I think people should know that. I think it's important. Instead of someone just saying, yes, can you do me a favor, put this on my site? Because they don't know what the hell is going on. They just want it done. Ah, man, like, those days are over. It's about knowledge. It's about education. You need to know how these things work. And, you know, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Once you start, like I said, you see, connect a piece of puzzle. You know, at one point in life, you did it. So, you know, that's my approach on it. You know, that's the internet marketing approach that I'm taking. It's like, okay, what's this person doing? What's that person doing? And how can we connect that? That's where a lot of people are getting confused. And I know there are a lot of people that get that confused. So, you know, that's why it's like, it's not fair to those type of individuals. So, you know, that had to be the approach when I was going forward with this. So, you know, there's always a will in the work. You know, sometimes you just have to look at things from a different perspective, all right? So.